Spiro, the interesting thing to me was their warm-up line had only the 7 guys on it. I'd be worn out. Too many shots, too much running with only 7 guys. But they play a lot of minutes, these guys, and I'm looking forward to the tempo that Howard tries to set, maybe a little quicker than they normally play against Wagner.
And the party has officially begun. A privilege and an honor to be with you tonight here in Dayton. We get some body contact, offensive foul. And an early whistle there, Keontae Lewis.
Yeah, you watch the body action down low. Does he tuck that shoulder? He sure does, and it goes the other way. One of the key things they have to worry about, too, with only 7 guys, they do not, and I don't want to really bring it up for them to jinx them, they don't need foul trouble.
So Howard giving the Seahawks a little taste of their own medicine. Kenny Blakeney's bunch, one of the top 3-point shooting teams in the country, but Wagner top 10, Jimmy, defensively. They allow only 62 points per game.
And they defend that 3-point line very, very well.
Towns gets it back from Hairston. He's going to fire from 3 and hits.
Yeah, it's interesting with his style in terms of he likes to mix it up down low. He's about 34% or so from the 3-point line, but an early look. And we're looking at them coming out with like a little bit of a zone look to start a matchup.
There's that stroke. Julian Brown, who has had a bigger role this year than they anticipated, Jimmy, going into the season, but with the injuries, all the missing pieces, he stepped into a huge void for Wagner.
Yeah, and that's a scouting report breakdown early on for Howard, because he shoots 70% of his shots are 3-point shots, so you better get out and find them in a hurry. Good work. Here's that defense almost under 5 seconds.
That's Bryce Harris, whom we hit on at the top. Harris, a junior out of Brentwood, New York, averages better than 16 points per game.
See how Council tried to find a way to come down the middle of the floor to get to the seam and get into the paint.
This is Teron Allen. He can stroke it, not that time, a little bit too much. Maybe some early game jitters.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Drive and kick, not a Town. Same spot he hit from a moment ago, and he's fouled.
Didn't let him come down.
Officials are going to get Teron Allen, so Towns, at first glance, appeared to be clearly beyond the 3-point line, and he's going to shoot 3.
Yeah, let's see if he lands cleanly right now as he's coming down. Might not be a foul up top, but when you go below the knees right there, that's where he catches it. So take a look. Yeah, there is contact. And some might say, well, was he leaning that right leg out just a little bit? That's probably his natural jump shot, so the leg drifts a little bit. So a good call to start things off there from the officials outside.
Seth Towns, one of the most amazing stories that we've got going in college basketball. He began his collegiate career with Harvard in November of 2016. Former Ivy League Player of the Year in 2018. He appeared to be Harvard's next burgeoning star, and then a rash of huge injuries, significant injuries, missed multiple years. He actually stepped away from the game last year. I just had enough, Jimmy, of the pain.
Yeah, I can only imagine his frustration. But by the way, and I think we got to tag that with the major point of his story, is he didn't waste his time academically, working on his PhD, and doctorate.
He's been an academic star, and this moment is about him just as much as anyone else. Council, pretty little floater as he works that baseline.
Yeah, as we touched on in the open just then, his ability to get to the lane, to get to the baseline, or just drive it. He's really talented in that area. He's been struggling a little bit previous to the tournament coming in their conference tournament, but he's turned it around the last 2 games a bit.
Boy, Harris, pretty pass inside. And then it was turned back. Boy, Warfield, good late defensive recovery. This is an open transition 3 by Brown. No. And Warfield skies in for the rebound.
Did we say that Wagner plays a slow pace? That was not a slow pace just then.
Jimmy, it's March Madness. Expect the unexpected.
That's right.
On a 3, misses.
Here he comes again. Look at the speed. A little out of control of 1 against 3 guys, but that's what Council can do on the break.
First turnover committed by Wagner, and then Towns coughs it up. This is Council off and running. Left side, pretty pass. And the finish underneath by Allen, the Brooklyn native. He's a junior. He's had some big scoring games down the stretch of the season.
Yeah, and the traditional part of that break that I love, Spiro, a lot of times there's a 10-second violation. A lot of times guys flare to the corners for three-point shots. That was an old-fashioned 3-on-2 break, and take advantage of it.
Oh, you can watch live games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Download now and stay up to date on all the action.
And worth mentioning, I think, Spiro, early on, when that ball is in the air from the backcourt, some people might say, well, it's cross half court, but it's got to be touched by somebody or hit the floor. So if that ball's in the air, they'll still call 10 seconds on you.
By the way, how many NCAA tournaments is this now for you?
I don't know. I'm losing track. Around 25 or so. I love it. Can't get enough of it.
I think you lose count after about 20.
Never gets old, though.
No, it does not. What a scene this is. And what a moment for these two teams. Allen leans in, and this is going to be a blocking foul. Warfield thought that he had set up for the charge, but it will be Warfield hit with the personal here as we take another look high above.
We've seen a couple of isolations. Let's see if that shoulder comes down. That's pretty close. That could have gone the other way right there with the way that I always look for when you dip that shoulder and you create contact, you generally get yourself in trouble.
Inbound to Council. They'll reset to Allen. Wagner so far 3 of their first 5 from the field. Council looking for some open space, and he hits a pretty step back over the top of Towns.
I can't tell you how difficult that shot is in terms of getting the speed going towards the basket and being able to, nobody's home there, and float away on that shot. A difficult.
You're a hoop fan this time of year, as we are just getting started here with the first of 4 play-in games tonight and tomorrow. A couple of 16 seeds getting it all started here. Wagner and Howard. The Wagner Seahawks out of Staten Island, New York. Academic institution founded in the early 1880s. Small, little, tiny school.
Sure is.
Their pride is big. And that entire community is watching their Seahawks here tonight, hoping that they can get their first ever win in the big dance and only their second all-time appearance. This is Council.
Notice the way they spread the court, too. They put it on the floor and challenge. That's going to be trouble coming back. Spiro, take a look at the clock.
Council tracks it down with 5. Going to pull up in a transition. 3 and hits. Council showing his ability.
We've seen a lot of his ability already in terms of driving to the basket, looking for slashes, and that was a great read on his part to understand the shot clock situation, to bury a long-range shot.
Well, he's probably their most talented offensive player, but Jimmy, you alluded to his struggles, his shooting slump of late, which made their run in the NEC tournament even more incredible. But a great sign for them as he's hit his first 3 shots.
Yeah, he was 11 for 23 in that tournament. Just barely got that off.
Harris barely tries to clean up his own mess, and then it's last touched underneath by Wagner. But a very encouraging start for Melvin Council Jr.
From behind, you can almost sense him looking up at the clock, and he knows exactly what the clock says, and he buries it. Good recognition.
Howard, meantime, one of their first 6. Trying to get their offense going. Again, we mentioned their three-point prowess. Top 20 in the country from the three-point line. That is Harris chiseling his way to the cup.
You have to be ready for him. He loves to drive it at you using his frame. We'll hold in the backcourt here.
Bryce Harris, number 2 scorer this season in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Meantime, Howard, 4th all-time appearance. Kenny Blakeney has taken this basketball program to new heights. Back-to-back trips to the dance. First time that's ever happened in the history of their program.
What a great demeanor, too. And speaking with him yesterday, both of these coaches kind of on the same page in terms of easygoing, answering all your questions, and just happy to be here. Wow, nice crossover.
Troy Brown, great recovery by Towns. He got a fingertip on it. Bodies bumping all over the place. Look at the effort.
Nice
dangerous pass intended for Hairston, broken up. Esqueda got a piece. Jimmy, these are two scrappy teams.
Oh, they are. Beautiful recognition, though. Stara getting back just then, and a deflection just to keep it alive. He knew he couldn't grab it.
Estera, the junior from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Corner three from Allen, back of the rim, and Lewis unable to save it underneath. And the basketball goes back to the Bison. There's Donald Copeland. Jimmy, think of the coaching influences for both of these two men. Donald Copeland grew up in Jersey City, played for the legendary high school coach at St. Anthony, Bob Hurley Sr. Played at Seton Hall under the late, great Louis Orr. Kenny Blakeney, meantime, a D.C. guy coaching in his hometown. He played at DeMatha Catholic under Morgan Wooten. Just an amazing array of influences for both of these two coaches as they have brought their teams to this point. Council turns the corner inside. Smart pass as he drops a dime to Lewis.
Well, he turns the middle of the floor into a 2-on-1 opportunity there. Instead of it normally being a 2-on-1 on a break, you break people down in half court, and a beautiful little dish shot by Lewis to finish it off.
Boy, Wagner has hit 6 of its first 10 shots, and they're up 6.
He keeps going to the paint, doesn't he?
Couple of big bodies thumping underneath. That is Harris as he has the answer.
Yeah, just to mention, he's 6'4", 220, and he uses every inch that he has and every pound to make sure he not only bangs into you, but gets a very good angle to deliver his shot.
First team All-MEAC was Harris, the junior out of Brentwood, New York. Prep player at Putnam Science in Connecticut. This is Julian Brown, gets it back as they'll reset. Shot clock down to 5, little pick and roll action, gets it to Lewis. No offensive rebound, and there's going to be an offensive foul. A loose ball foul, little bit of a push against Allen from the back, and that's his second.
Let's take a look on the... Yeah, maybe just a touch there when they were going to work after it. That's a tough foul, though.
Again, Jimmy, foul trouble is just always top of mind for Donald Copeland as Tajay Kelton has to check in here.
Although Copeland has practiced with this team, a lot of their assistant coaches have also, but I'm not so sure he's allowed to go into this game. Wow, look at this.
Harris goes into 2 bodies, draws contact.
We've spoken about the slow tempo, but when you think about what they've done, they've really attacked pretty quickly. So maybe they weren't ready. Howard wasn't ready for that offensive intensity to come their way that quickly in the half-court sets.
Look at where these two teams sit. Winner advances to Charlotte to take on the 1 seed in the West region, North Carolina. As this feeling out process between these two teams continues, Elijah Williams, graduate player out of Washington, D.C., is checked into the game for Howard for the first time tonight. This is Hairston, steps back, misses a little bit too much, and the rebound is last touched underneath by Wagner.
But that was a real good example of how Wagner is coming out to defend that three-point shot, which they do very, very well. We haven't seen many clean looks yet for Howard from the outside, and they are a pretty good outside shooting, three-point shooting team. They shoot it at 37%, but Wagner closes down on you, defends it, holds people and opponents to 30%. So that's a match of wills right there.
This is Towns. Tough dribble drive in a crowd, missed it, and the rebound is pulled by Tajay Kelton and Wagner.
And Towns never getting his good footwork that he obviously has, and now we're really seeing a zone right now. When you see a lot of pointing on the floor, you see guys pointing around, that just means it's a matchup zone.
Boy, this is Sek Zongo wasting no time. Young man, a freshman from the Bronx, out of the Patrick School in New Jersey, and gives Wagner a quick shot in the arm. And the Seahawks, Jimmy, what a start offensively. Efficiency, 7 of 12 from the field.
Very unselfish team, too, Wagner. The way Donald Copeland has them playing, not only tonight, but throughout the season.
Kick out. Towns finds the open man, Warfield, not that time. And Howard struggles continued. Council's going to push. They find Brown, splash!
Well, so much for the slow-paced scouting report. That was a blitz up the floor. And I think that Howard has to regroup a little bit, put the ball on the floor, and try to get to the basket to get things happening. Oh, tough pass right there. Wasn't looking for it.
Fifth Howard turnover. You saw the scoring drought for the Bison. As right now, Kenny Blakeney looking for some answers. Godzilla Kong, the new empire. Experience it on the big screen and in IMAX only in theaters March 29th. Wagner building their largest lead of this opening half, 19-10. This is Council working over the top of Towns.
It's a beautiful slice cut just then to the middle of the floor. And Council understands exactly when he catches the ball with his twist and his turns where the basket is. Sometimes guys lose track of that. Down low action.
Looked like Towns may have taken a bump away from the ball. Another look at that last Wagner basket.
And look at that cut. It brings you over to this side of the floor to set you up to come back. And there he's in his wheelhouse in terms of being able to get things done because he's already gotten you to bait. He baited you to move. You move on defensively and you can't react.
So Zongo, the man who was whistled underneath, that's his second quick foul, so he will be replaced. Sixth team foul against Wagner.
That's really important. Number one, you have 9:47 left. I'd really start to head to the basket if I were Howard now to get to that free throw line.
Jordan Hairston,
there you go.
One of the leaders of this team, and right on cue, Jimmy, going to earn himself a trip to the free throw line. Fouled in the act, so 2 shots here for Jordan Hairston. Young man who has had a circuitous route to Howard with 9:40 left to play in this opening half.
75% free throw shooting team, too, Howard is Spiro. So obviously now just a little over 9.5. You have to take advantage of it.
Howard leaving some critical points at the free throw line, Jimmy. They're in an 11-point hole.
Yeah, an 82% free throw shooter, too. You don't expect him to miss a pair. Still in that matchup. Watch for the pointing. That's when somebody cuts through, another guy will come up and defend it. And now they switch it back to a man-to-man out of the matchup.
This is Kelton attacking baseline, misses right at the rim. And the rebound underneath. Last touch by Wagner.
Nice work by Dockery, too, to get back in there.
We mentioned Kenny Blakeney, D.C. native out of DeMatha Catholic under the great Morgan Wooten. He played collegiately 4 years at Duke under Mike Krzyzewski. Part of back-to-back national championship teams. An assistant under Lefty Drizel.
I should have asked him that one. Even though Lefty's a Duke grad, a Maryland coach for years. How did that happen?
Pivot, boy, much needed basket underneath. That's O.C. Okoji, one of the injured pieces that Kenny Blakeney gets back in the lineup tonight. Big basket for Howard.
Remember what he told us, Spiro. He wants to fill those 3 guys in just as long as they don't disrupt the momentum that they've had over the last 2 weeks.
Council knifes into the paint. Towns, they played it well defensively, kept his feet, and the rebound tracked down by Hairston.
Yeah, much better recovery that time, and the same type of move that we just saw Council deliver.
This is Towns. It'll pick and roll action. The kick out, open 3, no. That's the strength of their team. Dockery can't hit.
But better when they go to the middle of the floor like that. That creates an open flow to your shot.
Howard again, top 20 3-point shooting team in the country during the season. But so far, they've missed 4 of their first 5 from deep. Council.
Isolation, same move again. Better defense again the second time. Towns won that 2 times in a row.
Into the corner, they've got to fire the 3 with Kelton with the shot clock winding down.
Lakey telling him to push the ball up a little bit before this Wagner defense settles in.
We move inside of the 8-minute mark before halftime. Underneath, Okoji knocked out of his hands, and Howard turns it over.
Yeah, a little bit of a force that time. The eagerness to make something happen when you haven't played in a while.
Council, lightning fast first step. And he has been the star of this opening half. 11 points for Council, 5 of 6 shooting. And right now, Kenny Blakeney continuing to look for answers.
Last 2 regular season games, He was 7 for 32 from the floor. He goes into the tournament and he goes 11 for 23 in their conference tournament, so he's working his way out of a problem, and now he comes out here and just starts to light it up early.
6th in the NEC in scoring, 8th in rebounds, 7th in assists. Clearly their most indispensable piece. And Donald Copeland hoping he can get more of what he's gotten so far from Council.
Trying to protect some guys with the 2-3 zone right now.
Good ball movement. They find Dockery, three-pointer no. Hasn't been able to get his shot going so far, and his last touch underneath by Howard. And you just think of what this team has overcome. We mentioned the only 7 active players that they've had for the last really 2 months of the season. They were the 6th seed in the NEC Conference Championship. They had to go on the road, Jimmy, to beat the top 3 seeds in the conference as they get a 3 here from Kelton. They overcame all of those odds to somehow make it here to date.
And the interesting part with John's question, I love the question and the answer, because that's how Donald Copeland treats this. They're depleted, but he's not going to let up. He says, I love my guys, I love my team, but just because we're down a few guys, we still have to put the pressure on them.
Towns, beautiful spin, but unable to hit that little floater off the box. And the officials say last touched underneath by Wagner with 7 to shoot.
You talk about the pressure that Wagner continues to put on while avoiding fouls, too, because they picked up the 6 fouls, remember, about 3.5 minutes ago. Wow, look at this traffic.
Inbound, Harris off the deflection, right at the rim, missed it. Won't get a better look than that, and the rebound pulled by Esguerra.
Just going a little quick. Him one time, Towns another time in the first half here.
Jimmy, it's not just Wagner's defense. You saw that last graphic, 7 assists, the efficiency with which they're playing at this end of the floor as well.
So unselfish.
We're under the 6-minute mark before halftime. This is Esguerra, shot clock at 6. He's going to step back and pull. Cash!
Boy, things are working pretty well for Wagner right now. To your point, Spiro, in terms of the unselfish play and the understanding of when they want to get their shots off. Not afraid to run that shot clock down to 5 or under.
Esguerra was only a 31% three-point shooter during the season. Bit streaky, big shot there, and a big answer meantime at the other end as Shai Odom, who was the preseason player of the year in the MEAC. An assortment of injuries during the season, unavailable in the conference tournament due to the concussion. Back in the lineup tonight. And he comes up with the steal at the other end. This is Harris, open floor, lays it up and in, and contact.
And you know what he's going to do with the ball. They spread out on that one. They really didn't come down in the traditional 3-on-2 break, but he just made a terrific read as you watch this as he comes down the floor. He's going to come down this middle, and he realizes defensively nobody's there in time to stop him. So he makes that decision to finish it off and uses that power move to the basket. And another big hoop for Howard to get some rhythm and rotation with their players who are coming in off the floor, off the bench rather.
Harris, a junior. Kenny Blakeney said, this kid has been my most important recruit. He embodies everything we want in our culture. All MEAC first team, second leading scorer in the conference at nearly 17 per game. Corner 3, Council, that's a rare miss for him, and the rebound weak side by Harris.
Another opportunity for them to just chip away at this lead, try to get it down to single digits, maybe 7 or so before the half.
Interestingly, the Bison have done their damage mostly in the paint. Drive and kick, Warfield.
Wow, good hands.
Harris gets it back. Lewis got a piece.
Yeah, Towns with that deflection on the offensive glass.
Harris has had a couple of chances in tight. Look at Esguerra, the ball movement. Exquisite pass. Somehow dropping a dime to Lewis.
Now the understanding of dragging defensive players with you and a perfect setup for Lewis, who tracked the basketball, never took his eye off his teammate.
This is Towns. He's going to fire. Big shot for Howard.
Look at Copeland over there. He knew that was a breakdown before that pass even got into his hands.
9 points for Towns. It's only the second three-pointer for Howard. They're 2 of 8. This is Julian Brown, flicks it up, and he's headed to the free throw line.
I think they may have gotten that on the officials
say.
Then.
Jimmy, I think you're right. Brown pleading. Wagner, meantime, the auto bid out of the NEC, the Northeast Conference. Remember, this was the league that sent FDU into the dance last year. Won here big at the first four last March against Texas Southern, and then, of course, played Cinderella in that stunner against Purdue. Can Wagner make their own history as Brown misses right at the cup? Dom Campbell, one of the returning players, has checked into the game now for Kenny Blakeney and Howard. That was Towns on a miss. Council looking to push. Circus shot, missed it.
Where that was coming from, a little twist. Well defended, though, to slow him down.
Council still the only player so far in double figures with 11. Hairston from deep. Offensive rebound, Campbell.
I think you got to go up with that one, don't you think?
Was right there.
And they're banging down low. I believe Lewis is going to.
Penalty situation.
Yep.
So 1-1 here for Howard with 2:30 watch today. That last whistle as Campbell rims in the free throw, Jimmy, was against Keontae Lewis, and that's big. And look at now the foul issue that Donald Copeland is dealing with. Again, only 7 available players for Wagner.
Yeah, and Spiro, normally what you would do there, right, you'd be talking about what Donald Copeland has to do is get those guys out with 2:34 left. You don't want to risk it, but he really doesn't have many opportunities to put guys in, so he has to be selective which guys he can trust.
Another look at the baby bracket. These 2 16 seeds fighting for the chance to take on North Carolina in Charlotte on Thursday.
This is where a slow offensive tempo helps when you're in foul trouble also.
Whoa, dangerous pass.
Might have been kicked.
Tracked down by Esqueda, 3 to shoot. He's going to fire. Deep 3, and he buries it.
What is he taking lessons from Council on that play? Almost exactly the same.
Wow, finally, Dockery.
A career 42% three-point shooter as Dockery comes back in a hurry to answer. Well, the pace is picked up from the Howard side, but now you see the air being taken out of the ball a little bit by Wagner again. They do not, with the depleted lineup and the foul trouble, want to get up and down with this team right now.
Aggressive move to the cup.
Push it up.
Time by Zongo, and Wagner comes up empty.
Yep, keep pushing if you're Wagner, if you're Howard.
Towns, boy, was erased underneath, but contact. And this could be the third. Let's see what the officials say here. It appeared to be Zongo. That's going to be his third personal.
So another situation here, Spiro, where you have the clock working against you. He looks up, just like Council did. Both of those guys reading the clock and the shot opportunity, and that quick release. Well, that was a fast one down the other end within 5 seconds or so.
The fun just getting started. First 4, first of 2 tonight. So Towns going to take a little seat here. Let's get more on Towns' amazing story as we throw it over to John.
Well, thanks, Spiro. And 2 guys that are watching very closely tonight in favor of Seth Towns are the 2 coaches that he played for previously, Tommy Amaker at Harvard and Chris Holtman, who was at Ohio State and is now the new head coach of the ball. I've talked to both of them the last 2 days. They are thrilled for this young man's success. Tommy Amaker told me that Seth Towns' greatest attribute was his ability to inspire. He's doing that for his 2 former coaches, Spiro.
Just the ultimate feel-good story. Talk about resiliency.
Yeah, 2 terrific coaches right there to learn from, too. As we pick up the 4th team foul for Howard. But you look at the score right now, Spiro, about 2.5 minutes ago, I mentioned that we had a double digit. Now all of a sudden we're down to 7 for the lead for Wagner.
Yeah, Wagner was up 17 points. It was 29-12 with 5:31 left in the half before the 15-5 run put together by Howard.
And if you do this and play this slow game, you better be pretty efficient with your shots. Well, they're not right now. Wow.
Beautiful looking shot. Circus delivery by Julian Brown.
He almost dribbled that right off to the hands off to the defender. Not a good pass there for Town.
Council the theft on the push. Kelton. Off the back rim, and Towns clears with 38 seconds left in a half. Here comes Hairston looking to push, and he is denied. Tajay Kelton has been all over the place for Wagner.
Yeah, watch this dribble. He almost dribbles it out. That's why I said, oh, no, they're not really under control at this point. Thought he was going to just hand that off to Towns. Next thing you know, he's going upstairs for it.
Hand off to Hairston. He elevates, misses.
Let's sit on it right now, Spiro. I'm sure they're not going anywhere. They may even talk it over.
Howard as a team in the half, if you just hopped on with us, 8 of 28 from the field. That usual lethal three-point shooting has failed. Got to stop here, Jimmy, to close the half.
Yeah, and barring a turnover right now, Wagner will probably sit on it until maybe the 6 or 7 second mark, I would think. Howard in his zone right now, so they have to recognize that. Here comes the high screen, no exchange.
This is Council. Boy, they get that first step up over the shoulder as he takes him to the schoolyard. What a play by Council. This is Dockery. Harris going to fire. And that's going to take us to halftime here in Dayton. What a half from Melvin Council Jr. Everything kind of seems good right now for Wagner, but the foul issue, Jimmy, always in the back of the mind of Donald Copeland. We heard his chat with John right before he went into the locker room at the end of the half.
Yeah, it might indicate to you, Spiro, that you come out and play a little bit more zone as they start with an aggressive man-to-man picking it up. I'd go right to the hole, though.
Boy, beautiful pass as Towns underneath to Isaiah Warfield, and then it was cleanly stripped out of bounds as Towns threads the needle. But what defense with Keontae Lewis.
Just waiting it out. Well defended from that weak side. Got to go straight up if you're in the middle there.
Inbound to Towns. They get it back to him on the box. Towns backing down. Allen's going to shoot over the top of 2.
Yeah. Spiro, I think if you're Howard right now, if you catch that first pass that Towns had in the middle of the floor, I think because of the foul trouble that Wagner's in, I think you got to force the action while you're in there and getting some good opportunities.
Seth Towns.
You got a zone here and then miscues.
He's the only Howard player in double digits with 13. Lewis, boy, pretty footwork. And the little baby hook shot.
Yeah, that was a breakdown defensively, too. They were in a matchup zone just then, and 2 guys were guarding. One guy lost the real vision on where they should have been.
The Wagner Seahawks out of Staten Island, New York, in the tournament for only the 2nd time in their school history. Dribble drive, boy, high arching bank by Harris.
And he is so good at readjusting on his shot. Thought he was going to take it initially, then just gets a little body bump and strong enough to regroup.
Hasn't been a great shooting night so far for Harris, but he does have 9 points, 4 of 12 from the field.
Remember, Howard in the last 4 minutes of the first half got the tempo ticked up a bit. Let's see what happens here.
Council was the star of the first half. Here he is. He's got to hurry. And he goes glass. He's got everything working for Wagner.
Yeah, and they are very patient that time with 3 seconds on the shot clock. Really didn't frazzle him at all. Good understanding of that, and that's how Wagner will play in that slow tempo half-court style.
So Council now has a game-high 15. He has hit 7 of 10 from the field.
I think they're trying to look to see if they can get to the paint area.
Warfield not a Towns. 5 to shoot. Towns working against Allen, playing with 2. Towns the spin, he missed.
Pretty well defended again. Here comes another break by Council.
Council, boy, he is all over the place for Wagner.
Yeah, he's leaving everybody in the dust, actually. He's the only guy really breaking and busting down the floor, and nobody's picking him up in time.
Warfield's going to fire. Hasn't been his night so far.
Here comes the slow down pace again. Be ready.
Warfield is 0 of 5 from the field.
Nothing there, so they bring it back out. Good decision.
This is Esqueda. Thought about the 3. Now the bounce to Lewis on the box. Quick spin, and a little bit too quick that time for Towns.
Making things happen in terms of coming out and attacking. We talked about Council's ability to shoot off balance also. Right there, another one. And a little off balance to begin with there, but he delivers.
Teron Allen, boy, they catch him napping on the inbounds. So Allen, who sat for nearly the last 12 minutes of the first half with the foul issues.
We've seen an air ball and a bad miss. 2 possessions in a row for Howard. They're trying to pick it up. Well, you got to find Council a little bit better. Finally slowed him down in the middle of the lane.
Wagner resets in complete command at the moment as they look to build on a 15-point lead. Council looking for more. And Lewis on a putback.
All because of Council. When he's going to the basket, he's bringing Howard players towards him. That time, 2 guys allowing a seam for offensive rebounding.
This is one of the gritty. And this continues to be a smashing success. First 2 playing games to begin the madness here in Dayton. Harris, boy, like a bulldozer underneath. He's going to shoot free throws as we go over to John.
All right, Spiro. Well, Kenny Blakeney just told his team in the huddle that they are again out of character. They're not doing what they talked about in the locker room at halftime. He said, guys, we're taking bad shots. We're being selfish. This is not the time to get away from who we are. We need to do what got us here. That is the message, Spiro, from Kenny Blakeney to his team.
You know, Spiro, too, and John, I think it's a great point. And the other thing that would basically balance that out and really support that is we've gone almost 4 minutes in the second half, and that was the first foul on Wagner. So they have not, Howard have not really attacked as much as they have to use that foul problem to their advantage. And because there's about 40% of their game comes from catch and shoot. And if you're not catching and shooting, you better put the ball on the floor a little bit more frequently and go to the hoop.
By the way, that last Wagner foul was against Teron Allen, his 3rd personal, so he's got to be careful now. Dom Campbell has checked into the game for Howard. Remember, we missed the entire MEAC conference tournament with the concussion. Back in the lineup tonight. Here's Allen playing with 3, flips it up to the rim over the top of Harris. And a well-contested shot by Harris. Dockery underneath, boy, nice ball movement inside. Towns dropping a dime, and it's Campbell.
You're right on the money, Spiro, with the passing right there. And how about that patience, too, to wait for defenders to climb by him, go up in the air. They need some easy buckets just like that underneath and in the paint.
Jimmy, we've been talking about how tough this Wagner team is. You can say the same about Howard.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Taking the mindset, the attitude of their head coach, Kenny Blakeney. Remember, Howard started the year 5-11. There weren't many people in D.C. who thought that this Bison team would make it to the dance, but here they are. As Get on a 3, no, and the rebound pulled by Campbell.
Yeah, you know, 3 Wagner players played all 20 minutes, and one of them played 16 minutes in the first half.
Boy, that would have been a huge shot
right there
on the miss.
But they don't look like they're tired at all. Look at this.
Allen wide open. A little bit of a breakdown in the transition defense from Howard.
7 guys who are very well conditioned, aren't they?
Just amazing the stamina with which this Wagner team plays. Again, 7 available players. If you've just joined us,
sliding back into his zone right now, a 2-3 zone, which makes sense. Good move to the middle by Hairston, too, to fill.
This is Harris in the corner. Shot clock down to 5. They've got to hurry. Dockery now to Hairston left open, and he hits. Big shot for the Bison.
Yeah, you program yourself as a team to really work that clock. And defensively, Wagner is working that clock to their favor and getting those shot clocks down to under 5, taking more and more time off the clock with a big lead.
First basket for Jordan Hairston. Graduate player playing for his 4th different school. This is Isqueta, creates his own shot. And Wagner comes up empty again. Little of an opening here for Howard as they play in a 13-point hole. Tough catch there for Harris. Inside, Campbell. So Howard,
they're not rushing into things. They're willing to use the shot clock, which is a slower pace. But you look at the numbers, 12 assists on their 22 field goals. Just very, very comfortable on the floor at both ends right now.
And Jimmy, not just the assist to field goals, how about no turnovers committed by Wagner in the last 10 minutes and 18 seconds? We are seeing just an incredible level of offensive efficiency from Donald Copeland's team. Anytime the foul issues that he's concerned with as he paces in front of that bench.
And only 3 turnovers for the game, and they average 10, so they're well under that average right now as it stands.
If you've just joined us, Wagner has led by as many as 17 points. But Howard has cut it to 11 here as we come up on the 13-minute mark.
And they're making Howard play every second of this shot clock at their defensive end of the floor. Down under 10 already.
This is Council. He's got a game-high 17 points. Sets up Allen, fires, misses. And the call here, it's going to be a loose ball foul as Tajay Kelton was fouled underneath. And Kelton has been really aggressive, Jim, on the offensive glass.
Yeah, he was, and he was battling with Harris underneath.
See Keontae Lewis working on that left leg. Let's check in with John.
Yes, Bureau. Keontae Lewis just left the game a couple minutes ago with cramps, but, he should be fine. He's on the bench. He'll be able to come back in.
Can't afford any missing pieces. Look at Towns. He got a fingertip on it. And he lets Council hear about it at the end. This is Dockery taking contact. And here comes Howard. 9-point game.
Yeah, it was almost appeared as if that was a pass to himself, but I guess the officials made it seem like it wasn't. Towns just running him down and realizing this is what Council wants to do. He saw too many of those in the first half. And then off there pushing it here. Watch right here. You see that little bobble to himself. I guess they figured that was a deflection more than a catch and a pass to yourself.
Marcus Dockery, D.C. native. He was a consensus top 150 prospect in the high school class of 2020. Started his collegiate career at Maryland. And what a pickup he's been for this Howard program. It's an 11-2 Howard run, and a 17-point deficit is now down to 8.
Finally, they have some bounce in their legs collectively.
This is Julian Brown taking a little bit of a bump, and he's going to earn a trip to the free throw line.
Yeah, and interesting enough with that move, too, Spiro, you may have noticed that last step was kind of like a delayed step to get into your drive to the basket. That's enough to throw a defender off and put yourself at the free throw line.
So Julian Brown, a Middletown, New York native at a Bergen Catholic High School, to the free throw line. First free throws of the night for Wagner. Get complete coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Tournament at ncaa.com.
Remember, as you know, Bergen Catholic in New Jersey, you may remember the name from St. Peter's University, Doug Eddert, who had a fabulous tournament a couple of years ago, both from the same school. Look at this little full court action for a team that's playing all these guys and all these minutes.
Which of these two teams is going to be moving on to Charlotte, where the Tar Heels of North Carolina await? Nice feeds the post. Boy, Campbell wasn't quite ready, but they catch a break here with Dockery. 5 to shoot. Warfield, that's good.
Starting to fill the middle of the floor, both against man-to-man and also against the zone. A great place to start if you're looking for easier opportunities.
First points of the night for Warfield, and look at the run now for the Bison. Back to within 8. These are two of the toughest teams in this field. This is Brown into the paint, missed it. Fight for it, and it's Campbell trying to save. Allen takes, blocked.
Oh, look at this,
Look
wide
at
open.
Allen. My goodness.
Work from both sides just then and getting better lucky bounces, and you work for them. And you keep on working, you get one last bounce to pay off.
Boy, the fearlessness with which that kid plays. Teron Allen from Brooklyn, New York.
Watch this middle of the floor here, too. They're trying to set it up there.
Hairston. And suddenly, Howard catching fire from deep.
And Howard recognizing that. And Wagner, I think, knows they're trying to get it in there. So what does that do? It collapses your perimeter a touch, makes it more difficult to get out there for that shot.
Here comes Council. Turns the corner, drive and kick. Kelton, corner pocket 3.
He's on the floor to shoot threes. 70% of his shots come from the three-point stripe, and he's pretty good at it.
And now we got some fireworks back and forth here in Dayton. Zachary lets it fly. And the basketball back to Wagner, but everyone's going to catch their breath. And did some work with Under Armour. Also was a guy doing some consulting work with Steph Curry's basketball camp out in San Francisco. And it was during one of those sessions where they asked him to pinch hit. They were short a coach. And he said, I just realized how much I missed it. Got back into a coaching job with Columbia as an assistant. As Teron Allen hits, it's a big basket for Wagner. They built this lead, and that fire just kind of got relit.
Yes.
And here he is now, potentially 1.5 away from taking his Howard team to the first round. We need a push here down the stretch. For a little hesitation maneuver, that is Warfield. Was really quiet in the first half. Both of his baskets have come here in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, both of these teams, Spiro, the last possessions they've had, they've been patient in getting the ball underneath the basket. Howard a little faster with their tempo. Wagner, as we're watching right now, not in a big hurry to go anywhere with it. He's in a little trouble. Somebody has to come show themselves. There you go, a little better.
Council gets it back. Guarded by Towns. Two best players on the floor. Council, the little extending leaner. Looked like Towns took a shot.
Yep, across the face.
Jimmy, despite all their struggles, you look up, Howard's only down 10 with still 9 and change left in regulation.
I think if Harris posts up, you got to give him the basketball down there.
This is Hairston, guarded by Izquierda. Nifty ball handling, and they block it inside. Tremendous help defense that time by Kelton. Council.
That's going to be a tie-up, I believe. Yep.
Tie-up situation, possession arrow keeps it here for Wagner. As Howard starting to play with some desperation.
Watch the wall start to move over. You see him coming from that left side. Good work by Kelton to fill that side of the floor. And here it's just a clean tie-up. Almost by 2 Howard players just then.
Inbound to Council, the reset now with Izquierda. 8:43 left in regulation.
Look at how much room there is to drive. Council saw that for a moment. Look at all this room in here. That's where he's trying to get. There you go.
Council sizes him up. Boy, that's a scary sight for a defender. With that kind of lightning quick first step, Melvin Council Jr. with a chance to push this thing to 12.
But you look at the way Copeland sets it up. Everybody's outside, and it allows you to make a decision as an offensive player. Can I beat my guy? And the way Council came out, started this night off with his 17 points, just really confident, knows he can go by people.
Love movies? You're in luck, because Max gets movies, lots of them. Award-winning dramas, epic adventures, family favorites, and more. Stream now on Max, the one to watch for movies.
78% free throw shooter there, Spiro, missing 2 of them.
So Council leaving some points at the free throw line. A little bit of a opening here for Howard. This is Towns, turns the corner. Boy, he missed it. Won't get an easier look than that.
Yeah, he shoots it well off balance, too.
Corner 3, got it! Boy, Julian Brown!
Yeah, what a blend of slow down and then selective transition. We haven't seen many of them, but on occasion it's been very effective. And another guy who just loves to shoot the 3 ball. Wow.
Warfield on the attack. Just can't talk enough about the incredible coaching job that Copeland and his staff have done as Warfield misses on the first free throw. Keep in mind, Wagner is a team that's had 7 available players basically for the last 2 months. They had to go on the road in the NEC Conference Tournament. Remember, they don't play the games on a neutral site. You go to the higher seeds gym. They were the 6th seed, knocked off the top 3 seeds in that tournament. And Jimmy, they entered the tournament having lost 4 of their final 5 in the regular season. They were in a bad place psychologically, and somehow they've turned it all around.
And how about also, Spiro, around late December, injuries were so abundant with their program that they decided not to go with live practices. So basically, they've been kind of practicing, doing a lot of heavy-duty drills. Obviously, they're in very good condition to play this many minutes.
I thought they were going to ask you to practice yesterday.
They know better.
Lewis inside.
He had to go with that one.
Boy, that's the first Wagner turnover in nearly 18 minutes. Unbelievable.
Either the post or challenge off the dribble is the message right now for Howard.
Campbell poked away. Council got a hand on it.
And Campbell just reached out and grabbed him.
Those pesky hands. Boy, it was Lewis.
I think it might be an intentional foul.
That's exactly what the officials say here. So intentional foul, say the officials. And that's going to put Kelton at the free throw line now for Wagner.
Campbell just before that reaching out, just grabbing him.
Let's bring in Gene's territory. Gene, take us through the sequence.
Well, as you can see, Spiro, when you're in that breakaway situation or potential fast breakout number, just reaching back, grabbing jersey, trying to pull a player, in this case with the basketball, back toward you. In the old days, we called those just intentional fouls. Now the definition is flagrant one. Same result, though, just not a basketball play.
Yeah, especially Gene after he fumbled that ball in the post. A little bit of frustration mounted in a hurry, and exactly right with the flagrant one.
We thank Gene for weighing in for us here as Esqueda handles for Wagner. Out of Brown. Feeds the post. Lewis turns. Fight for the rebound. It's last touched by the Seahawks. Let's get more now on Donald Copeland and this incredible coaching job with John.
Well, Spear, you're hitting on it. Donald Copeland has done incredible things at Wagner, but, I remember talking to Bob Hurley Sr., his high school coach, a while ago, and he told me that when Don was at Seton Hall, before he got ingrained in the starting lineup for Seton Hall, he had a lot of conversations with Coach Hurley about whether or not he still loved the game. He stuck with it. He led Seton Hall to an NCAA tournament appearance in 2006, and almost 20 years later on the verge of his first NCAA tournament win as a head coach. An incredible ability to get from where he was then to right now, Spiro.
Just an amazing story as Lewis got a hand on it. Copeland is only 39, but boy, has he lived a basketball life. He played 9 years overseas, basically every corner of Europe, played a little bit in Puerto Rico. Just an amazing potential story that they hope is going to be moving on to Charlotte. Shot clock is at 4 seconds here. The inbound, they get it to Dockery. Boy, desperately needed that. Esqueda on the push. A little bit sloppy on the pass.
They get a good bounce back to him, though. We're at 6 minutes right now. You would think that Howard, if they have a little bag of tricks, a little double teaming action, force this tempo a little bit.
10 on the timer for Council. That's a high screen from Lewis. Hairston double team. Campbell was there to help. Council on a miss. Lewis was out of bounds.
What a terrific effort by Lewis just then.
Again, if you've just hopped on with us, the winner of this one advances to Charlotte to take on the Tar Heels on Thursday. Jimmy, so we can put you down for the winner of this one, the team that you'll be rooting for on Thursday?
I'm not like that. I've given up the Carolina tension in my life.
I'm not sure I buy that.
You're not going to buy it? All right.
Harris, little give and go action. It's Hairston trying to breathe some life into the Bison here. They're in an 11-point hole with 5:30 remaining.
Tough to come back against a team that slows the pace down and doesn't turn the basketball over. And Donald Copeland has plenty of confidence in his team that they can run and execute their sets, especially when it gets down to 7 seconds or less.
Dribble, drive, that is Council. He has wreaked havoc against his Howard defense.
And letting him go to his strong right hand, too.
Howard now working quickly. Harris underneath. A little bit of a late whistle, but there appeared to be contact. And that's going to put Bryce Harris at the free throw line for 2.
Here he comes, a right-handed player. They always find a way to get to their strength. And part of the defensive effort is supposed to take that strength away from them in your scouting reports. As difficult as that is with the turnaround from Sunday to here on a Tuesday night, trying to pick up as many of the scouting report tips as you can get.
Foul charge to Keontae Lewis, his 3rd. So here's Harris at the free throw line. Bryson have to start to work quickly here. Tense moments in front of that Howard bench. Kenny Blakeney pacing. Harris is 74% free throw shooter.
They're starting to extend a little bit right now. Keep your hands off. You don't want to pick up a foul out there.
Remember, this has been a game where Wagner has been almost perfect, taking care of the basketball with just tremendous offensive efficiency.
And counts are going to his left. He does go to his left, but not all the way in.
Or Dockery a little bit overly aggressive there. The shot clock was at 7.
And only 16 foul right there, but you're right. Taking that time off the clock is probably more important. They have to start taking some chances. You gamble a little bit, and that's when your body and your waist kind of tips forward. You lean with your shoulders and your hands, and officials call that pretty much all game long.
Wagner has turned it over tonight only 4 times. Just amazing. What a pass. Inside, it's Lewis. What vision by Javi Esqueda.
He hasn't come out of the game yet, too. He's gone the whole way again.
Jimmy, no one ever comes out of the game for Wagner.
nowhere to turn.
Stamina just incredible, as Harris has it poked out of bounds with 15 to shoot.
And there's that little dump pass down low. And they just, as I mentioned, they don't turn it over much.
Boy, Towns, they desperately needed that 3.
Nothing on the offensive glass also, with Wagner rebounding by committee.
67-54. Tremendous find underneath Lewis. The basket will not count. Foul on the floor. No, it's a travel.
Yeah. And they've done this, Spiro, with only 5 turnovers.
Just amazing.
Yeah.
13-point game with 3:43 left. Howard has not led this game since the early minutes. They were up 6-5 before everything turned as Towns misses off glass.
And obviously that's the one you really need. A little bank shot from the right side there, but nothing on the offensive glass for Howard.
Seth Towns, 13 points, but just 3 of 10 shooting.
A little too aggressive there, going for a backdoor from the wing cut.
It's a rare mistake. What a pass. Harris inside. Hairston has to kick out. This is Warfield. Into the corner. Dockery. Big shot for Howard.
That's a tough shot too, Spiro, because he had to climb the ladder to catch that ball and then regroup. Sometimes that's enough to throw your shot off.
And as we told you at the top, Howard, number 20 team in the country in three-point accuracy. And they need to start firing right here.
And they need a couple of stops too, because they are working this clock down. Makes it difficult to come back if they score here.
Esqueda, 3 to shoot, has to pull, misses, fight for it.
Nice tip.
Hairston.
Take your time here, make sure you get a good look.
Into the corner, this is Towns, that's good.
That's not a bad look. Now all of a sudden they have Wagner guessing.
Just think of the moment, the emotions, biggest night in the basketball lives of these players here, their families, parents, brothers and sisters.
Oh, tough place to stop.
Knocked out of the hands. Boy, last touch by Howard. They almost got it.
Really difficult spot to stop when you pull that dribble up. You got the lines here and there. They become 2 defenders, invisible defenders, because you can't go back or you can't go sideways. Lucky on that one. Now let's see if they continue to play with confidence here, because this is where you could basically play tentatively if you're Wagner. They have to stick to what they're doing and don't be afraid to try to score.
You see the drought by Wagner. No points in nearly 2.5 minutes. This is Council. 19 points to lead the Seahawks into the corner. Allen coughed it up. It's a turnover.
That's good work from the officials. One didn't see it clearly, the other did.
For Wagner, only its 7th turnover tonight.
There's a whole lot of life in the Howard team right now.
This is Warfield out front to Harris.
He likes to go to the hoop, too.
To the box, contact, and Harris gonna shoot free throws.
I love that decision right there, Spiro, because we just saw 2 of them take shots, and you're thinking if you're Wagner, and watch, he just goes in, and watch at the end here. Ball fake and a little bit of a lean in body, but he pulls the ball away from the defender, so the defender's going to swipe it air and probably hit arm on that play.
Now, Jimmy, that's the 4th against Keontae Lewis with 1:48 left.
Yeah, at this point, Spiro, the fouls really don't matter. Everybody's playing it out right now with this from a Wagner perspective. Not that they have many choices anyway, right?
Remember what Kenny Blakeney told us about this kid, Bryce Harris, the junior out of Brentwood, New York? Said he's been my most important recruit. He's become one of the faces of the program, embodies everything about our culture that we want. And he's brought Howard to within 5 with 1:40 left here in Dayton.
They just don't seem settled right now, Wagner. They're being forced into action that they don't want to. We saw it for the entire game except for the last 2 minutes or so.
90 seconds left. Council.
Mismatch.
The spin, banks it down, and contact. It has been his night here in Dayton.
Well, what a reaction in terms of isolation. At the end of this play, he realizes that he has a size advantage. He plays a little taller for my look. He's 6'4", but he plays almost like he's 6'6", 6'7", in a terrific traffic-type play.
6th in the NEC in scoring. Think about everything this kid has been through this year. Wow. Missed the free throw, knocked around, and Hairston loose ball. Ahead of the pack, Warfield missed it point blank.
That's going to be goaltending, though.
Boy, Warfield is hurt. They're going to count the basket for him underneath. Looks like he's okay. So the goaltend charged against Wagner. It's a 5-point game with 1:17
They may
left.
review this, too, because...
Jimmy, you're right. They're going to go to the replay monitor.
Is that ball off the rim is the question.
Call on the floor is a goaltend. They will indeed look at the replay here. Our officiating crew, Pat Adams, Darren George, Andy O'Brien.
Yeah, I think what you need to look at here, Spiro, is the ball hits. That's going to be interesting to see if that ball was clear of the rim just then.
Looks like they have quickly made their decision here. They are going to confirm it is indeed a goaltend. Gene, what'd you think?
Yeah, Jimmy was right on it. Ball off of the glass. Then the ball has to have an opportunity to go in on after the glass kind of taps. And then, as Jimmy also mentioned, I think rightly so, was a piece of that basketball just above the cylinder when the ball was touched. And that's why Pat Adams confirmed the goaltend they made on the court.
Pretty close, though, Gene, wasn't it?
Really, really close, Jim. Yes, it was. Yeah.
All right, we thank Gene for hopping on with us again. Final buck 11 here. Tense moments for Wagner.
Another bad spot.
Broken up. Warfield to the racket. He lays it up and in. The Bison back from the dead. It's a one-score game in Dayton. Turnovers the first 33 minutes of the game. They've got 4 in the last 6:20. Howard has trailed by as many as 17 points. They look dead in the water. And it's a 3-point game. Let's check in with John.
Guys, Kenny Blakeney just told his team in the Howard huddle, we have momentum. Let's keep being aggressive. Let's keep using the momentum. But everything is on our side. There's plenty of time to come back in this game, Spiro.
All right, John, one thing to keep in mind, Howard is out of fouls. Next one puts Wagner in the 1-and-1. They inbound here to Brown. And we're inside of a minute, and here we go.
They're looking for a double team at half court again if they can get it.
Lewis left open, back to Esqueda in the corner.
Oh, he's in trouble again.
He's got to burn a timeout.
Yeah, that's 3 times he's used the court incorrectly, in my opinion. I talked about a moment ago, front court, 1 step, back court, not a good spot, and then you dribble into the dead corner. You know, if you're breaking a press, this is where you want to be, and they bang him right into the corner right there, perfectly defended.
Now, Jimmy, that was Wagner's last timeout, so that looms large. 49.3 seconds left, but how about this comeback by Howard?
Yeah, well, we've spoken about it all night long, the fact that they shoot the ball from the three-point stripe very, very well. 37% on the season. They've hit a couple, and their defense just automatically came out of nowhere, an uptick on that full-court trapping opportunities that they've had.
Warfield, Hairston, and Dockery, all 3 guys so quiet in the first 20 minutes. They have come alive for a Howard team making its 4th all-time appearance in the dance. Champions out of the MEAC. Knocked off the top seed Norfolk State in the semis, and then beat Delaware State to earn their trip here to Dayton.
And by rule, they get it out here, Spiro, instead of in the corner, which is huge, because that would have been, if it was in the corner, that would have been a tough one if it was out of bounds.
Reset to Council. 5 to shoot.
Got to go towards the hoop here.
Council elevates, missed it. Back rim.
Great box out.
Hairston has it. What defense by Warfield to stick with Council.
Don't be afraid to go to the basket also here.
Only about a second difference. Shot to game clock. Harris to the cup. And Howard keeps on coming.
So many times, Spiro, we see teams that will shoot the ball from long range in that situation right there. In terms of taking that shot from long range, smart move here to clear it out. Where's the help? The help is not coming from either side. And a great adjustment again by Harris to put this ball away. Watch the way he can put his body to work right now. And now all of a sudden he puts the shot on a secondary level to get that to finish.
Howard has not led since the early moments. They were up 6-5 before Melvin Council Jr. took the game over for Wagner. Seahawks opened up a 17-point lead early in the half. And right now, Donald Copeland just looking for something here to restore order. 1-point Wagner lead. Remember, the Seahawks are out of timeouts.
So the winner going to face North Carolina between these 2 teams. But right now when we talk about the possession arrow, Spiro, if I were on the Howard team, I'd come out and tell the officials, we're going to look to foul, but we're also going to try to use that possession arrow to our favor and go after them and kind of reach in with 2 hands for the basketball. Now, if you foul, so be it. You're going to foul anyway, but take a shot for about 2 seconds to maybe get a tie-up. It's difficult to do, but you have to give it a little shot with 17 on the shot clock.
2 schools looking to make some history. Neither school has ever won a game in the tournament.
And they want to foul right now, probably want to foul with at least 14 seconds on the clock. So they have about 3 seconds.
Next Howard foul puts Wagner in the 1-and-1. The inbound of Brown trying to create the steal, and Brown is bumped.
They did go in with the 2 hands leading, which was smart.
So Julian Brown is going to make that long walk to the free throw line. He's an 84% free throw shooter. Wagner as a team tonight has only taken 7 free throws. Now, Jim, nothing can prepare you for this kind of a moment. You see Brown, eyes closed, taking those deep breaths, trying to keep his mind clear.
Still a lot of time on this on the clock, so obviously huge opportunity here for Brown.
Two-point Wagner lead.
Now, Spiro, if he makes this shot right, you're up 3. That comes into play now. Do you foul or not? And one of the things that, when asking Donald Copeland, he said basically he doesn't like the foul if he's up 3. Now, it's way too much time on the clock to do that. So they're going to look at the clock to make sure they have the time right. Remember, he told us he tried fouling against Sacred Heart this year, and it almost cost him a game. But he doesn't like to foul. He generally likes to come out as a coach and say, we're going to get a stop because they're a good defensive team.
Trying to determine where the clock was on the whistle here. As the tension, the drama continue to build here in Dayton. What a scene, what a finish. Which of these two schools' dream is going to continue on to Charlotte? Officials have added 0.2 of a second to the clock, so 14.9, and one more free throw here for Brown.
Yeah, now make or miss with Howard. You want to push this ball down the floor. I think even up 3 points, or excuse me, down 3 points, you still have an opportunity to get the easy layup if you get it down in a quick hurry.
Howard does have one timeout left. This is Hairston. 10 seconds. Towns. Now to Hairston. Elevates. Short. Offensive rebound. Dockery. Back to Hairston. No. Back out. Dockery. And the Wagner Seahawks out of Staten Island, New York, trying to write their own history. They post their first ever win in the NCAA tournament.